Welcome to my channel. This is Passion Tribe. I'm Cece. I will be coming to you as often as I can to talk about things that I have become passionate about. In this particular video, as the title should give you an idea about, I have recently become passionate about water fasting. So if you'd like to learn more about this, stay tuned. I've learned a lot of things through trial and error, and if they can help just one person out there, then I think it will be worth it. All right? So thanks for staying with me. Water fasting, it's a really popular topic on YouTube. I'm sure that it's kind of caught fire with lots of people, especially if you're clicking on this particular video. That means that you're at least interested in learning all that you can about it, and then just, trying to piece together whether it's a good fit for you. Now, before I continue, I have to point out I'm not a doctor. Okay? Don't let me give you the impression that I am. Now, what I am is a person who's tried a lot of things and has learned a lot, and I'm willing to share with you what worked for me. But there's just so many variables with health as it comes to so many different people's situations, like medication, stress level, genetics. I mean, there's just a mixed bag that contributes to the situation that we all find ourselves in. So I would recommend that if you are new to this topic, or you're not sure what situation your body profile fits into, make friends with your doctor or even a naturopath that might be in your area, and see if they can kind of measure you, take the right types of testing that can help you figure out what situation that you're in and find out if this is a good route for you to take. But if you don't mind, I'll share with you what I did. A little bit of background on fasting in case you haven't heard of this before. Fasting is actually a practice that has been around for hundreds of years. It just so happens that in Western diets it's not really talked about as much. The standard American diet is really based on consumption, and I would say within the last 50 to 75 years, because of motivations that always aren't above board, people have been encouraged to eat more and more. But if you think about it, some civilizations like Ayurvedic, older Indian civilizations, Egyptian civilizations. As a matter of fact, the Egyptian civilization was written about by a philosopher called Herodotus. And Herodotus actually traveled to North Africa and commented on some of the practices and what he observed by the people there, and that they tended to be some of the healthiest people he's ever seen, and that fasting was a normal part of what they did in order to maintain their health. There are other cultures that put fasting as a part of their religious traditions. So for example, we know there's some of our fellow human beings who are a part of the Muslim faith happen to practice Ramadan. And there are also other faiths like Judaism, and there are other faiths like Christianity that will incorporate fasting as a part of some rituals where they're observing something wonderful and majestic about their relationship with God as they define it. So fasting is something that hasn't really made its way into our conversations with our doctors, unfortunately. But thanks to platforms like this, we all can kind of share what we know and come to some new discoveries, or maybe just get reinforcement about some ideas we may have that could work. So for me, I would say my specific story about coming to fasting was a little unusual. It was very unexpected, but here in the DC area, we have something called Restaurant Week. And so in 2018, at the end of February was when Restaurant Week concluded. And I have to say, I had a great time with my friends and my family, going to some of the most delicious restaurants in the DC area. But I will tell you that once Restaurant Week concluded, I was feeling a little bit like a Oompa Loompa. Like I'm just being honest with y'all. It was not a good feeling. Like, I felt horribly compacted, probably a little bit bloating. I mean, I just really felt quite icky, slow, lethargic. And I was like, okay, we gotta do something. We cannot just coexist with this feeling. there's got to be a better way. So I had an experience, and I'll basically refer to it as fasting and meditation. Excuse me, not fasting and meditation, but prayer and meditation. So during a period of time where there was fasting and meditation going on for me, I accidentally stumbled upon fasting. And what that means is there was a day where I was having my lunch. It was during the work week, and suddenly I just wasn't hungry. Was not hungry. Was not thirsty. And from that point of this eerie sense of calm and just feeling very secure, I was able to go without eating for about 24 hours. And it wasn't intentionally 24 hours. I just realized that I was doing something I had never done before. And after 24 hours, I just decided, okay, let me eat something before I really mess up, and let me take a chance to just research what's happening to me so that I can do it with intention versus it feeling like this is a little accidental. So one of the first resources that I went to, of course, as most people do, is I went to Google, and I basically typed in the question, "Hey Google, what am I doing?" And Google said back to me, "You are fasting. You're fasting, girl." And I was like, okay. Hey Google, what's fasting? And the floodgates pretty much opened wide. And I started to get educated on what fasting is, and just a little bit about the science behind fasting, not just as a tool that's used as a part of tradition. There are actually aspects to fasting that compete with so many of the other common mechanisms that we may know of that have to do with health, wellness, mental clarity, and also combating quite a few diseases. And I'm not saying that fasting in and of itself is a silver bullet, but it is a powerful weapon in the toolkit of some other things that you may do in the process of bettering yourself in terms of your health and your mental stability, because there are benefits for that as well. So what I'll kind of do is try to talk about some challenges that I had and some of the categories of those challenges.